Hey, what's up, guys? Okay, so sorry, I know the camera's a bit close, but anyway. So basically, we all know summer is over, back to school, okay? So I just thought I'd do a quick video on what to expect as a supply teacher, sorry. And yeah, what you can expect working as a supply teacher. Now, you may want to watch this video because you're just bored, or you may want to watch this video because you're thinking about going into the educational sector. So if you want to hear about my experiences as a supply teacher and what to expect, then please stay tuned. Okay, so I've written a few notes down so that I know what I'm talking about, so if I casually look to the side, then that's what I'm doing. Okay, so basically, being a supply teacher, depending on where you are, I'm living in the UK, so I was going from school to school, so you've got a variety of schools. Now, usually, most of the work for a supply teacher is in secondary schools, so yeah, that's from age 12 to 16. So yeah, secondary school work. You can go to different schools around the area, depending on where you are. Now, depending on what the school is like, depends on where it is. So you might be in a deprived area, and the school may have a bad reputation, or the children may be a little bit unruly. Whereas if you go to like a posh area, sometimes the children are a bit better behaved. Okay, so what can you expect? Okay, so first of all, it can be quite intimidating because you're going into a classroom full of around 30 children, from 20 to 30 children, teenagers that you've never met before. Okay, so that can be quite intimidating. You've also got to introduce yourself. Hi, my name's Miss whatever, and I'm taking the place of whoever. Normally maybe all the members of staff that have taken you around the school, or kind of giving you a briefing of what to expect. And sometimes that doesn't happen. Sometimes, the teacher calls in last minute and they've called you to go in, so it's like they don't have time to tell you what's going on. So that's when you have to improvise, okay? Now, when I talk about improvisation, sometimes there may not be a lesson plan. There may not even be a seating plan. Now, the issue with there not being a seating plan is that children may sit with the friends, sit with people they know, because they know that you don't know what's going on, so they'll try and play up. So in that instance, I'm afraid there's nothing you can do, unless you can ask another member of staff to come in and just make sure that everyone's where they're supposed to be. But again, that takes a long time, and usually one class is up to an hour. Now, if there isn't a lesson plan, then what I usually did was ask some of the pupils what they did in the previous lesson and whether they can carry on with that, or what's their theme or their subject that they're working on. Maybe they can go on the internet and do some research. It just depends on what they've been doing. Now, obviously, you'll get some people playing up and they'll say, oh yeah, well, normally we just play games or or do something that's unrealistic. Then you can kind of get the gist of who's telling the truth and who isn't, and then you kind of just gauge and do what you think is correct. Okay, so yeah, you've got to work fast as well, because you've probably got an hour for the lesson, so you need to introduce yourself quite quickly and be able to manage behavior to a certain extent in order to tell them what the lesson's going to be about and what to expect and whatsoever. So you normally go in, hi, I'm Miss da-da-da. Yeah, can everyone sit down, please? Da-da-da-da-da, whatever. And then if there's a lesson plan there, then you would get it and read through it, making sure everyone is aware and everyone knows what they're doing. And then you can say, okay, we'll start now then. And then maybe 5-10 minutes before, you can start to wrap up the lesson, maybe get some feedback from the class. Oh, okay, so what did you write? Okay, great, what did you write? Yeah, so I've done that sometimes just to kind of improvise. So yeah, then you wrap up the class, make sure that they've tidied the area, their working space, and then you can dismiss them. Obviously, it depends on That's another thing. Different schools have different policies and different like reward systems and sanctionings and stuff like that. So whereas one school you may say it's 3 warnings before you get a detention, in another school it may be 2, or in another school they may not have those type of rules. So if you go to a school, they will definitely give you policies on the school and what to read. They should do anyway. So yeah, I don't know what to say really. What else to expect as a supply teacher? Yeah, I've done this as well. If things aren't necessarily going to plan and you can see that the children are playing up and you know that out of order and I don't know, messing about. I've been in situations where the kids were throwing chairs around the classroom. Okay. It's quite comical now, but at the time it's like, what are you doing? So in that instance, I would send someone to get another teacher to kind of like sort everything out, because I'm quite soft actually, and I don't really like shouting, so I don't really, yeah. So yeah, that's an option, to go and get another teacher, to go get another member of staff that knows the school policies and what to do. And you know, because sometimes there's always certain children that play up, but if you're new and this is your first day, you're not going to know that. So that's another option. Also, if you're thinking about becoming a teacher or working in a school environment, then that's a really good way of doing it, just to test it out, because it's nothing permanent. You'll just be going from school to school. And the best way to do it is to register to a few agencies. Now, some agencies say that you need a degree in order to go out and do the work, and sometimes some agencies don't. Sometimes you just need experience, and if you don't have any experience at all, it's quite good to go and get voluntary work. That's really good. That looks really good in your CV, and it shows that you're keen to, you know, work with children, around children. So voluntary work, you can go anywhere really. After school clubs, you can look it up online, or your local, I don't know, go to your local job centre and ask about voluntary work. Because that's what I did, because I wasn't getting anywhere, because I wanted to work in schools but I wasn't getting anywhere, so I had to do some voluntary work. Sometimes you got to put in that effort, you know, so it looks good in your CV. And when you're applying to these agencies, when you're registering to these agencies, it will look good, and they will, you know, hopefully send you out to work. Yeah, just have fun with it if that's something you're thinking about doing. And a lot of the time when you're there, the kids will know. Because remember when I was in school, when I saw supply teacher, I knew that meant free lesson, you know. So when I've gone to schools sometimes, and you know the kids are waiting in a line outside the classroom, and they've said, yes, it's a supply teacher, as if to say they're not going to do any work. No, that don't run with. Yeah, doing that and working in schools is a good way to see if this is a potential career for you, because there's no point you going to uni to study and be a teacher if you've had no experience, because you don't want to come out of uni and go into teaching and then realise, oh, this isn't for me. So it's always good to get voluntary work and to get some experience. So being a supply teacher is a great way for you to do that. Or if you just want some money on the side and you enjoy being around kids, then that's a good way. So whatever. Anyways, it's back to school. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to comment and subscribe below if you've got any questions about, you know, working in as a supply teacher that I didn't mention. And please leave it in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Sorry, this video, I feel like this video is a bit all over the place, you know. God, my face looks far. Anyways, thank you for watching. Bye.